Santa Clara General bustled with morning chaos. Phones rang, monitors beeped, lives hung in the balance. And in the middle of it all, a voice like thunder shattered the air. "You're fired, Dr. Santos, and kindly leave your coat and badge on the desk, now." The words sliced through the sterile air like a scalpel. Heads turned. Conversations died mid-sentence. Every eye in the lobby locked onto Diana Santos. She stood motionless. Her immaculate white coat clung to her like the final remnant of a life now crumbling. The hospital director, Thomas Whitman, red-faced, puffed with self-importance, loomed above her on the steps of the main lobby like a judge passing sentence. "Serious violation of hospital protocol. Unauthorized treatment. Misuse of resources. No payment, no identification, no right to care." Diana's deep brown eyes didn't flinch. She held his gaze with a quiet defiance that made the silence feel dangerous. "I saved a man's life," she replied. "That's what I was trained to do." "You disobeyed direct policy," Whitman barked. "People like you need to remember their place in this institution." And there it was. People like you. The racial venom wasn't new. Diana had survived 10 years of it. She'd been passed over for promotions, dismissed in meetings, watched as less qualified, lighter-skinned colleagues climbed ladders she built. But now she was being paraded out like a criminal, her badge taken by Johnson, the security guard who once greeted her every morning with a respectful nod, but couldn't look her in the eye now. She didn't cry, not here, not in front of them. As she stepped through the revolving doors one last time, the sun hit her face, warm and blinding. She turned back only once and noticed something strange. The homeless man who always lingered near the hospital's entrance was gone. In his place stood a stranger in an elegant suit, speaking quietly into a high-end cell phone. The kitchen of Diana's modest riverside home smelled of burnt toast and reheated coffee. She sat in silence, the humiliation still fresh on her skin. Her phone buzzed 3 times from an unknown number before she answered. "Dr. Santos, this is Thomas Reynolds, legal counsel for Reynolds & Associates. We need to speak, urgently, about the man you treated last night." Her breath caught. "If this is about a lawsuit—" "On the contrary, the man you saved was Vincent Montenegro." She nearly dropped the phone. "As in, Montenegro Holdings?" "Exactly. CEO, Billionaire, and he's asked to meet with you." They met in a downtown coffee shop. Reynolds was tall, sharp, with a briefcase that looked like it cost more than her car. He handed her a tablet. Diana stared at the image. There he was, the bloody, mud-covered man she'd found collapsed in the ER. But now he was dressed in a tuxedo, smiling, beside political figures and celebrities. Mr. Montenegro prefers solitude, hiking, camping, alone, no security. Last night, he fell down a ravine, concussion, broken ribs. He barely made it to your hospital. "And he had no ID," Diana whispered. "He says you saved his life, alone, against your hospital's policy." "I didn't care who he was," Diana murmured. "Exactly," Reynolds said, his eyes glinting. "That's why he wants to help you. But we must act carefully. Whitman is powerful, politically protected. We need strategy, not revenge." Diana leaned back, stunned. The man she saved could destroy the man who destroyed her. Behind the curtain of wealth and status, a war had begun. Montenegro, recovering in a luxury suite with a private medical team, wasn't resting. He was building something. "I want everything on Whitman," he told his assistant. "Every denied admission, every falsified report, every dirty dollar. I want this bastard spine exposed." Investigators combed through years of hospital data. Patterns emerged, dark and damning. 89% of Black and Latino patients without premium insurance had been turned away. Donations to political campaigns, including that of the mayor, coincided perfectly with hospital budget reallocation. Terminated staff, overwhelmingly people of color. Meanwhile, Diana endured her own trials. Former colleagues mocked her online. One post from Patricia, the receptionist, read, "Rules matter, even for rule breakers. #by Diana." But support quietly grew. Johnson, the security guard, sent her a message. "Dr. Diana, you need to see something. Audio footage." He didn't know the cameras recorded sound. And there it was, Whitman's voice on tape. "That arrogant Black woman. I've been waiting to get rid of her. She saved a beggar. Perfect excuse." The mask was off. The ballroom of the Metropolitan Hotel glimmered with chandeliers and money. Whitman, smug as ever, lifted a glass at his own Director of the Year gala. "Santa Clara Hospital," he declared, "has never been more efficient. We've eliminated the problem elements. Profits are up 15%. He didn't notice the waiter adjusting a hidden lapel camera. Across the city, lawyers sat in a control room, fingers poised. "Ready?" Reynolds asked. "Roll it." The ballroom screens flickered. Whitman's smiling face vanished. In its place, raw security footage, hospital spreadsheets, internal emails, and his own voice. "We rejected 312 minority patients this month. Excellent work, Patricia. Every penny saved is a bonus." Gasps. Phones dropped. Forks clattered. Then Montenegro's voice filled the hall. "My name is Vincent Montenegro. I was turned away after a life-threatening accident. Were it not for Dr. Diana Santos, I would be dead. What kind of system punishes compassion?" Whitman bolted for the exit, but the FBI was already there. Handcuffs clicked. "Thomas Whitman," a federal agent said, "you are under arrest for fraud, institutional discrimination, and embezzlement." As he was led away, red-faced and screaming, Diana walked into the room. She wore a tailored navy blue suit, her hair perfectly braided, her eyes fierce. Whitman's face twisted. "You planned this." "No," Diana replied softly. "You planned this. I just documented it." Behind her stood Montenegro and Reynolds, flanked by journalists and lawyers. The crowd erupted into applause. Across the country, the footage went viral. #JusticeForDiana trended in 63 countries. The New York Times headline, "The Fall of a Tyrant, Hospital Director Exposed by the Nurse He Tried to Destroy." The hospital board resigned. The mayor, Whitman's cousin, was forced out. Millions of Americans who had been silenced by gatekeeping finally had a voice. 6 months later, the golden plaque at the front of the hospital had been replaced. Diana Santos Health Center. Universal Care. Diana, now medical director, strolled through the bright corridors of the renovated facility. She greeted patients who, for the first time in years, felt safe to seek help. Johnson, now head of security, approached with a clipboard. "Appointment list is over 1,000. People are flying in from other cities. They want real care." "Good," Diana smiled. "That's exactly what we're here for." Maria Gonzalez, once fired for not fitting in, now led the front desk, treating every patient with equal respect. Dr. Martinez, now chief of emergency, approached. "Another anonymous donation, $5 million. "Another ashamed sponsor?" Diana asked. He nodded. "Let them pay penance." Meanwhile, in a federal cell, Thomas Whitman scrubbed toilets, nameless and forgotten. Even his children had changed their last name. One day, a visitor arrived. Johnson. "Dr. Santos wanted me to deliver this." He handed over an envelope. Inside, an invitation. "Grand opening, Diana Santos Health Center." Whitman laughed bitterly. She won. Johnson stared down at him. She healed. That's more than you ever did. At the ceremony, Montenegro took the stage. She didn't ask who I was. She didn't ask if I could pay. She simply saved me. And today, her vision is saving thousands. Diana, radiant in a white coat, custom stitched for her, stepped into the light. They fired me for saving a life. Today, we build a future where no one has to choose between their conscience and their job. Applause thundered. Tears flowed. Her voice rose above the noise. The best revenge against injustice isn't destruction, it's creation. It's building something so strong, so compassionate, so right, that the old system becomes irrelevant. And that day, as cameras flashed and the world watched, Dr. Diana Santos didn't just become a symbol. She became a movement.